Hi, and welcome to Kidney Plugged In. June is National Indigenous History Month in Canada. And on June 21st, Canada celebrates and honors National Indigenous Peoples Day. And while kidney disease affects 1 in 10 Canadians, Indigenous peoples are at 3 times greater risk of kidney disease. So on the show today, we share some important information about these risk factors. And we share with you some inspirational stories. Monica Boulet from the Cree Nation in Saskatchewan shares the story of her journey from CKD diagnosis through to receiving a kidney transplant from her nephew, her living donor match. And Marissa Nahanee from the Squamish and Naskat peoples not only shares the story of her journey with kidney disease and being on dialysis, but Marissa joins the Kidney Wellness Hub Come Cook With Us chefs in the kitchen to cook up one of her favorite easy-to-bake salmon recipes. And we join Elected Chief of the Qualicum First Nations, Michael Recalma, as he sits fireside and shares some of the Indigenous traditions and recollections of his personal ceremonies that were part of his journey while on dialysis prior to his kidney transplant. So stay with us because our special tribute to National Indigenous History Month is coming up next, right here on Kidney Plugged In.
June is National Indigenous History Month in Canada. This is a great opportunity to learn about the unique cultures, traditions, and experiences of our First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. A time to honor the stories, achievements, and resilience of Indigenous peoples who have lived on this land since time immemorial and whose presence continues to impact the ever-evolving Canada. Each week throughout the month of June, different aspects of Indigenous history, cultures, and perspectives are highlighted and explored. Storytelling is a big part of our culture. You can also enjoy Indigenous storytelling, attending a show, going to a powwow ceremony, or if you would like to get a little more creative and get yourself into a lot more of our culture, you could try and reach out to an elder and find yourself at a sweat lodge ceremony. June 21st is known as National Indigenous Peoples Day. Why June 21st? Well, for generations, many Indigenous groups and communities have celebrated our culture and heritage on or around that time because of the significance of summer solstice as the longest day of the year. The best way to gain a deeper understanding of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis experiences is through our own voices. On Plugged In today, we are proud to welcome thoughts and recollections from members of our Indigenous communities as we reflect on National Indigenous Peoples Day. For more information on National Indigenous History Month, check out some of these websites on your screen right now.
Leave me a message and I'll get back to you.
I can't believe it's been almost 20 years since we met. My whole life has changed. Whenever I felt alone, you were there for me. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I couldn't have done it without the Kidney Foundation. And now, I need you more than ever.
One thing we do from a cultural point of view is when serious things happen in our lives, as in hemodialysis period, I was told by my nurses to wear the same shirt, the same t-shirt, the same trousers, the same shoes, which is fine because you weigh you. But when you're done with that portion of your life or that chapter of your life, you're supposed to bring your clothes. Because then you are done with hemodialysis. The line is taken out of my chest, and now it's time to burn them, to give them back to the Creator, whomever, but you're done. It's time to go on, close that chapter, move on to the next one. When one is destroying one's clothes, like in that instance, you have 5 people with you. You have one person to represent each corner, each direction, north, east, west, and south, and you have somebody else to literally put the clothes in the fire. So you have 5 individuals, and my individuals were all ladies that meant something to me.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Come Cook With Us.
My name is Anya, I'm a dietitian, and I'm here with my friend Marissa Nahanee, who's going to show us one of her favorite meals to cook.
No chuk manohat, me chem kushaman, Marissa Nahanee, Kliansna, Skohomish, Ochmilk, Eight Neska, Ochmilk, Onnox, and Squallow Teetsies. Hello, my name is Marissa Nahanee. I come from the Squamish and Nisga'a peoples, and I'm honored to be here from the BC, Canada. West Coast. So speaking of West Coast, we have beautiful salmon. And especially during the summertime, I like going fishing with my family. Well, the men do the fishing and the women, we do the prepping. But it's more mixture today, but traditionally that's how it used to be. And so in the summer, we would have like fish for breakfast, fish for lunch, fish for dinner. So I love salmon any single way. However, today we're gonna make the salmon the star because salmon doesn't need much. And so if you're having a really low day on dialysis, you know, your energy is just not there, then you could just put on your rice cooker, get a cup of rice, 2 cups of water, some frozen veggies, put in your rice cooker and forget about it. And then start prepping your salmon.
Awesome. What are we doing to our salmon today?
All we are doing is we're going to put a little bit of oil on the front and back of the salmon. So a little bit of oil on the front. You could even massage it in there a little bit and crack some salt and pepper on there.
I'll be your clean hands because we're not going to cross-contaminate, right?
Yeah, we'll be very safe today.
I'm the food safety police. I'm known about that on the show. So full warning.
And you keep us all alive, so we like you. And then if you can put a little bit of oil on the skin.
Okay.
And just massage that all in there and get it all nice and relaxed.
Awesome.
Going in for its sauna.
We got to relax the food before we cook it up.
And we're putting in good feelings in our good food. Every time we cook, it's almost like ceremony. You know, we truly believe whatever feeling you have goes into the food. So if I'm like Gordon Ramsay, getting mad, and you know, then all the people are going to be agitated eating the food. So in our culture, we kick you out if you're Gordon Ramsay. But because when you're cooking, if you're thinking happy thoughts, I'm so happy, I'm grateful, people are gonna enjoy this food, I'm gonna enjoy this food, it's gonna make me happy. You know, what do you want the food to do? You know, I want the food to nourish my body, make me happy, have energy so I could visit friends or family. And yeah, so we just put that all in there and we just throw it in the air fryer for 8 minutes.
Awesome.
And we're gonna do the skin side up so it gets all nice and crispy.
Perfect. I will say I'd much rather be in this happy kitchen than in Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. So I'm gonna go pop this in the air fryer. So I went and put ours in the air fryer for 8 minutes. For those who don't have air fryers at home, what are you thinking, like 375 in the oven? Or?
Yeah, 375 in the oven. Sometimes it's easier to flip it, so if you want, you could put it in really hot with the skin side down and then cook that for 4 minutes and then flip it over and cook it for another 4 minutes and then it'll be nice and juicy and delicious.
Okay, so you're heating your pan in the oven for a little bit so that it gets hot, and then you're gonna get that nice sear when you put the skin side up.
Skin side down first.
Skin side down first. Flip it over, skin side up, and then you're getting that crispy skin and crispy on the bottom.
And there's so many options to do with the salmon. If you do want to add some more flavor, my mom, she does a twist where she uses mayonnaise and brown sugar, and she just coats the salmon and bakes it that way, and it's so delicious.
Yum.
You could also cook it with some lemon, cut up onions, and throw that in there. There's so many different little adds you could put onto salmon, and it all depends on your personal taste.
Awesome. Yeah, use whatever you've got at home. That's what you were saying. You like to cook with the foods you've already got around in your house.
Because not every day is going to be a great day for shopping. And so it's just on the days, it's almost like watching Chopped Canada. I don't know, I got really addicted to Chopped Canada while I was on dialysis.
Okay.
In dialysis units, they always have the TVs thank you to the sponsors for the TVs. I'm not sure if we're allowed to do that, but I am so grateful for those TVs on the dialysis unit because you're sitting there still for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so there's not really a lot to watch on basic cable, but there's something always on the Food Network.
Okay.
So I got addicted to watching Chopped Canada and all of these different episodes.
So you got some inspiration from the Food Network and then were able to tweak it for your kidney health and keep the recipes so that you could enjoy them without any guilt.
Yeah, and it's always great trying so many things, you know. And it's okay to fail. There's a lot of things that I burned or didn't do, and you know, but at least I took the adventure and I tried. And after I cooled down, after a couple of days, I could laugh at myself.
It's inspiring to hear you that you've made mistakes, that you've learned and adapted in the kitchen to adapt to your energy levels with your fistula and carrying groceries. So anyone can do it. Anyone can come up with. You just kind of got to get out there and start.
Yeah. And I also really thank community for people who volunteered to help bring me grocery shopping or help shop my food. Like I've had random friends who are just like, hey, I'm in your hood, and I come pick you up and we'll do a couple of errands, and that's so lovely and so nice. Especially after COVID, it was so isolating, not being able to see people. So just having that social contact is, even if it's just helping me get groceries, goes a tremendous way.
Did you know you could lose up to 80% of kidney function before noticing any symptoms? Do you know if you are at risk for kidney disease? Hi, I'm Renita. I'm here to tell you that you may be at higher risk for kidney disease if you, like me, are a person of Indigenous descent. Kidney disease is more common than you think. It affects 1 in 10 Canadians, but these statistics are even greater for people of Indigenous descent. In fact, 1 in 3 persons of Indigenous descent are at risk of kidney disease. Here are some other risk factors you should be aware of. You may be at risk if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, a family history of kidney disease, or if you are of Asian, South Asian, African, or Indigenous descent. For more information on risk factors for kidney disease, please visit kidney.ca. And now you know.
Hey honey, I lost the list for Jason's birthday thing. Obviously hamburger, cakes. No, not hamburger cakes. Hamburgers and cake. And buns, sausage.
Okay. Ooh, eye candy.
Is it a full moon tonight? People are being weird. And don't forget to make the Facebook event private this time. Okay, bye.
Can you imagine losing most of something without realizing it? Over time, kidney disease can destroy up to 80% of kidney function before you notice any symptoms. Talk to your family doctor to see if you're at risk and need to be screened. It could save your life.
Eagle feathers are very powerful to us. Eagle's a very powerful bird. And this particular feather was presented to me by the now mayor of Qualicum Beach. And so I had a meeting with him yesterday, and I advised him that I was going to bring this to my interview today. And if he had said no, I would not have done it, because this came from his mother to him and to me. So again, we talk about a support group. Mine's very, very big.
Good girl. Good girl. We live in a vain world, and it's
it's hard not to not be vain, but at the same time, you know, it's like, how do we love ourselves in such a hard world, and to be able to love myself and showcase it to other people, and hopefully makes their lives a little easier and give them permission to love themselves too. And also let other people see that scars are normal and beautiful too. What my mom said is, this is what happened to you, but it doesn't define who you are. I did performing and singing, and my family, and I worked hard, and that's who I am. I would go to fashion shows. I loved watching Nicholas, Pamela Baker, and Dorothy Grant, and you know, the pioneers of fashion. And I'd be sitting on the sidelines watching their fashion shows, and then they would come up to me and they're like, "What are you doing sitting on the sidelines? Like, get backstage and go put an outfit on and model." And I was getting pretty far on that, but then when the kidney disease happened, it was hard because these are things that were out of my control. When I had to go to emergency dialysis, they had to quickly put in a hemo catheter, and so they create scars on my skin, and they're like puncture holes, and so those are really hard for me to accept. Before that, I did a campaign on Love Your Scars with the Kidney Foundation, and you know, I had to sit with that, like, how do I love my scars when I'm angry at them? When I got asked to go into Vancouver Fashion Week, I didn't have the confidence. And so I really had to sit and pray about that. You know, my fistula and my hemocatheter, those are my hero lines. You know, if they didn't do that, then I wouldn't have lived, and these are actually things that inspired life, and I could give love into that. She did ask me if I did want to hide my fistula, because she knew that I was uncomfortable with it. And because doing that commercial about Love Your Scars campaign, so no, I'm gonna love it and be proud of it.
Oh, so happy for you. Thanks for doing it.
This is my body, and this is what it's doing, and it's okay that it doesn't look like everybody else's body, because my body's been through a lot, and it's still holding me together, and I'm still alive. I think the greatest gift is just being able to wake up on my bed, you know, and I don't have to rush to treatment, or I don't have to be in the hospital bed. I'm home, and I'm happy, and I'm loved and accepted by my peers. What I would love to see in the next 60 years is a lot of preventative care in kidney disease. What can we do to ensure that every Canadian in Canada gets early detection, so that they do not have to go on to dialysis or need a kidney transplant? Welcome back. So now that we had a very touching story, bring it back to positiveness. Now that we're going back to our food, we're so grateful because it's gonna be delicious. And I wanna quickly show you our salmon skin. If you look, it's so nice and crispy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hear that, Chris?
Hear the crisp. Okay, now we need a spatula, and I'll let you put that on the dish.
Okay, uh-oh. You're tasking me with getting it off nicely. Oh, we need a spatula.
And then while she does that, I'm just gonna use our lemon. You notice that this one's organic and it has a little bit of bruising. That's okay. I just let you know that I had some fun in the fridge with the other vegetables. But it's still really juicy. So don't worry. A little bit of brown on the skin never hurt anybody. We're just gonna take a skin of that. And then we did a cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And now we have these beautiful peas and carrots. I'm just gonna fluff up the rice. And when people say fluff up the rice, all they mean is just they're taking a fork and running it through the rice. So, ta-da! I got the peas and the carrots with the rice. I put the peas with the carrots just because it's a lot easier. You can't have a million dishes going around and one pot for peas, one pot for carrots, one pot for rice, one thing for the salmon. And just talking about that sounds exhausting.
Yeah. This is like a restaurant meal. This is something you'd get at a restaurant. We made it in 8 minutes. The rice took maybe 15, but the salmon took 8 minutes in the air fryer. So.
And beautiful dinner for one.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again today on Come Cook With Us, where we've made this delicious salmon with the rice mixed with frozen veggies.
Thank you, Hoichika, and have a wonderful day. Leichokyo, you take care.
If you or a family member are at higher risk of developing kidney disease, we invite you to explore the Kidney Wellness Hub with customized tools and resources designed to help you preserve your kidney health at kidneywellnesshub.ca. Hope to see you there soon.
When I was on hemodialysis the first time around, I went down the beach because that's where we kind of seek resolution about questions. My question to the Creator was, what did I do to deserve this? What have I missed in my life? Well, there's got to be a lesson here somewhere that I've still missed because I still don't understand why this happened to me and why it is happening to me. It was a while later that I realized the lesson I missed. Trust people. Trusting. Put your faith in them. That's what I missed. And it was because now my life had changed and I've got to trust so many people, but I did, and I still do. My faith is in them.
My spirit name is Woman of the Rock, and it was given to me in ceremony by our traditional elders, Walter and Maria Linklater. When I was a small child growing up in Cumberland House, I was a very sickly child. And at the age of 24, I had one of my kidneys removed. Later on in 2011, I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease, which progressed to end-stage renal failure. I thought I was going to pass. And then, fortunately for me, I get to be here with you today because my nephew, Jimmy Searson, donated a kidney to me so that I could have a second chance at life. And here's our story.
It feels like I'm saying goodbye to everybody. Like I actually felt that's how close to death I was. Asini Square in Sneegassen. My spirit name is Woman of the Rock, and it means that I'm an interpreter. When I was about 24 years old, I went to see a specialist finally because the doctor said, you're always getting these urinary tract infections. Have you never seen a specialist? And I said, no. And he said, you have a defective kidney. Over time, I just got sicker and sicker. And one of the worst things that I remember was not being able to do anything. When they told me I had stage 4 kidney disease, it was one of the most difficult times of my life. I always tried to make light of what was happening, but at the same time, on a deeper level, it was very devastating to me because it meant that I might lose my life.
Monica, she's my auntie, but she's actually more like a bigger sister. She was raised by my parents, and so we grew up together. Told my family that I want to be an organ donor, but I had never really considered the fact about being a live organ donor. It hadn't really crossed my mind until Monica was in dire need to get get some help, so that's when I stepped up. I already knew right then that the kidney wasn't mine. It was actually hers, and that's why I decided, yeah, I want to help her out. She's got so much living to do and so much to help other people, and I want to do my little part to assist her. It's amazing. You give somebody an opportunity to continue doing what they're meant to do for life. She is always spreading happiness.
It's just such an amazing gift. If you could have seen me when I was at my sickest and see me now, the change is so dramatic. Like, even to me, life is about a series of memories and the quality of the human relationships that we have with one another. So if you want to become an organ donor and help save somebody's life, it's probably one of the most sacred, most fulfilling things that you can do.
To register your wishes to be an organ donor in any province or territory across Canada, please visit your provincial organ and tissue donor registry.
Let's see, so kidney is a... These are my grandpa's kidney stones. They're very precious. Kidney is a bone in your back that helps you turn. I don't know, to be honest.
They don't know kidneys are vital, do you? Get the facts at kidney.ca.
You come right up to my face.
Yeah, come right up. There we go.
Yep, pretty much. Rolling, now I gotta remember what I said. Like this. Check out some of the websites that we have on your screen right now.
Are a person.
Do you see it, Grant?
More common than you think. You need to tape that last part down.